My personal definition of success is my ability to take what's in my heart and hold it in my hands. Pulling out what's in your heart and seeing it become a reality in the world around you. If you can do that, that's success at the deepest core, because people define it differently. Well, success is when you do this, make that, whatever. It's the process of taking what's in your heart and then holding it in your hand.
I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag.
What's up? You are now listening to FY Fly the podcast, and I'm your host, Hassan Thomas, along with Remy, and we are here to share tools on how millennials can budget, save, invest, and understand student debt and credit to achieve financial freedom. If you're a high school student, college student, or someone who's interested in gaining more financial insight, this podcast is for you.
I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a
What's up, my FY Fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. Welcome to the FY Fly podcast. My name is Hassan Thomas, aka the kid that did and the man that can, baby. And today, we're going to be chopping up with military chaplain, performance coach, and the president of St. Pierre Alliance, Mr. Jerry. St. Pierre, how are you, brother? How are you?
I am better than I deserve. I live an amazing life every day, and I'm glad to be here with your audience.
Yes, sir, man. You got to affirm it, right? You got to affirm it.
That's true. That's true.
Yes, sir, man. Well, thank you so much for being on here. We met at FinCon, but now we're on FY Fly, and what we usually like to do, we like to skip the fluff and get right into the good stuff. How that sound to you?
Get after it. Let's go.
All right, man. So one of the key points that you really talk about in your message is rising from adversity. So what was your key turning point where you broke through your adverse situation into your personal calling?
I was raised in inner city New Orleans, and I had a rough start, but I'm thankful for them. And when I was up in high school, I would skip school. I skipped a lot of school back in my day. Lord Jesus, I skipped school. But I would listen to the preachers on the radio, man. I'm serious. I would skip school and listen to preaching on it. I was skipping. They never talk about skipping school, but I would listen. But you know what? I was learning how to get life right. I mean, the education I was getting, looking back, laid the foundation. And
kind of elaborate on the importance of a mentor, because it sounds like when I asked you, what was that turning point, you said you had a good group of men, a good group of faith-like men to kind of guide you or point you in that direction. So for everybody listening, how important would you say a mentor is?
It depends on how much you want to change your life. If you want to get after changing your life, then it's very important. A lot of folks, they're trying to break away from where they've been, but they don't know how to get where they're going. That's when you need a mentor. You need someone who can shed light on the journey. And what I did when I was skipping school, listening to the preachers on the radio, I had great men investing in me over the radio. I mean, you just can't, just good, solid teaching in my life.
That's a great for everybody listening. So you didn't have to go pay for a mentor.
No.
You changed your environment and started to listen and change the things that were, that you were hearing, that you were watching. So that's just a great key, because it's crazy. The next question I was going to ask was, do you think people should have to pay for mentors?
No. There does come a point where paying for a mentor is fitting, but not early on in the journey. Early on, here's how this works. You find as you go, let's say you start off at level 1 or level 2 of a 10 level rung. Say you're at level 1. All you got to do is make your way around some level 2 people and they'll rub off on you. Okay?
Yeah.
Level 3, level 4, kind of the same thing. When you start getting to level 4, level 5, now things change a little bit. These are people who are movers and shakers. They're kind of handling business. Their time is already finite. A lot of people like me, I love to invest in other people. Like our scholarship program we mentioned earlier, the St. Pierre Alliance. We don't just give money for college. We give performance coaches to these students at no charge to them. Like credentialed, certified, formally trained through programs that I know of and it's approved. It's International Federation of Coaching certified. It's a thing, right? Because it's important to give. So most people who are where you want to be are willing to give. The challenge is when you go up the rung, because they're so tied up into different spaces, they've learned to say no to so much so they can say yes to what's most important. And that's when it's time to start paying, because now you're saying you want my value for nothing, and that's not right. You have to come up to the space and say, I'm willing to add value in the space in exchange for the value add for me. And it's a mindset shift. It really is to go, well, that's just selfish. No. There comes a point where you have to be a giver, not a taker. And that's when you start going up the ladder. It's not about taking anymore. It's about giving. And the further you get up the ladder, they're going to understand that this has got to be a give. You're not just going to take. So that's why I say there comes a point. There comes a point where it's, you just want to take from me. That's not fair. When you have that, what you could be giving now, you're not at the bottom anymore. You're at a place where you have value to give. And so what I'm saying, there's a mindset shift that happens and a heart set shift. I talk a lot about head, heart, hand alignment on my podcast. The heart has to be in a place to go to the next level of moving from being the taker, because Lord knows you needed to take for a while, right? We all been there. But once you got, and it's not just money, it's whatever you got to give, become a giver. And givers find other givers and they sharpen each other. That's how that works.
So did I tell you we was aligned? So one thing I talk about in my book, man, is, I gave the biggest lessons that I learned going from college to COVID, because I graduated during 20. And one of those lessons were that you have to build up enough value within yourself to then start participating in activities where it can be a value exchange. You're either able to give your time, your money, or your value. So once you build up enough value, you don't have to pay for someone else's value. You can offer them, for example, a podcast episode. I have that value. If I didn't have that value, I would have to pay for, how people be like, let me pick your brain. No, there's no picking your brain. If you want to pick somebody's brain, you need to pay for their 1 hour consulting, or you either need to build up enough value where you have a platform where you can then have a value exchange.
That's exactly right. Now that's well said. It is a value exchange. So here's a spiritual principle. As iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another.
That's
and
facts.
So but one will not, iron will sharpen iron, but iron will go dull on wood.
Man,
so it has to, you got to make sure you got iron in your diet. And I remember early on, I used to say, I need some iron in my diet. I would walk up to men, I would say, excuse me, maybe folks at church, kind of people I have a rapport with, not just random people. Yeah. Sometimes I do random people, but I'd say, I need some iron in my diet. Iron sharpens iron. Let me ask you a quick question on this. Just get your feedback. I'd be interested. Sure, Jerry, what you got? Yeah. Boom, I just lay it out there, and then they give me their feedback on it. Go, it's interesting. I was looking at it from this perspective. I appreciate yours. Thank you. It's to help me think differently. And look, you do this with your money. You do it with your relationships. You do it with your faith. The most important things in life where you need to find your way at peace, that head, heart, hand alignment where you're at peace and you got things dialed in, is your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, your friends, and your fun. You got to rock those things in life. And I remember when I did this course for my training, and it was a semester, it's a summer long deal. Not in school, it's in a hospital environment. It's a thing for chaplains. And I had to stand up there and say what my objectives were. I said, and I had to give a little bit about myself. So I gave a little bit about myself first. I said, I'm at peace with God. I'm at peace with my money. I'm at peace with my spouse, and I'm at peace with myself. So I'm doing pretty good there. But here's what I want. And I didn't realize how deep it was when I said it until I reflected on it. That's pretty deep to be there. But that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. And you get there by principle applied over time. It's getting your mindset right, your heart set right, your hand set right. And the more you do it, it's that iron sharpen iron with other people. You start to get yourself sharpened up. Before you know it, your life is in order. It went from disorder to order. And that's where you want to be. That's a sweet spot.
And what would you say are some practical tips that you've personally done to gain? Because it sounds like a lot of these things are self-improvement,
Oh
self-development,
yeah.
self-improvement. So what are some practical things that you've done to continue to grow as a person?
I educate myself a lot. I'm always
Mm,
learning something. I have 4 degrees. Yes,
okay.
4 degrees. Highest is a master,
Impressive,
two
impressive,
associates, a bachelor.
impressive.
Thank you, thank you. Bachelor's and a master's. 96-hour master's degree, which I count as 3 baby master's degrees. And so I'm well educated in that space. I go to
Uh,
conferences. I go to where I want to be. Like if I want to be in a space, I start showing up there long before I'm
mhm.
qualified to be there.
Wow.
There's a reason you could go hang out at the academy before you can become a professor at the academy.
Hmm.
You're not qualified when you get there, but you stick around long enough, you're qualified, right? And it's not, but
Uh-huh.
you have to go where you're paying a lot of money at school. You go find any
Hmm.
space. So I try to surround myself with great people. Somebody told me this in my early 20s. I must have been 20 years old. He
Yeah.
told me his name was Joseph in New Orleans, Slidell, Louisiana. He said, Jerry, if you want to be a great person, you got to read great books, go to
Hmm.
great events, and hang around great people.
Just like
And
that.
I have done that. I said, you know what? I'm going to do that. And what happens is over time, I might not be qualified to be in the space, but I'm becoming refined by the space.
Hmm.
So where I show up makes a statement. The fact that I'm even there. And there's been many times, man, I'm telling you, listen, many a time I stood in the space and go, I don't know why I'm here, but I am. I don't know how I got here, but I'm here. I remember I went to this one thing
Hmm.
and I went home and told my wife, I said, honey, I feel like I just dined with kings and queens.
Yep. So,
But here's
man,
the other thing. When you're
go ahead.
uncomfortable in the space, stay there because I was uncomfortable. See, that's what your mind knows it's right, but your heart's scared to be there. Stay there anyway.
Because that's the next breakthrough. That's
It's the
where
next breakthrough.
that's where you're
Hmm.
going.
Yep.
And so is that your definition of success, or how would you actually define what success is?
Well, Desiree described the process of success. So I wouldn't give it a
Gotcha.
definition. I would say it's the process and how it works.
Mm-hmm.
My personal definition of success is my ability to take what's in my heart and hold it in my hands. In other
Mm.
words, I can take
Go
what's in my
deeper in that.
heart and see it become a reality in the world around me. It's the
Facts.
pulling out what's in your heart and seeing it become a reality in the world
Mm-hmm.
around you. If you can do that, that's success at the deepest core because people define
Mm-hmm.
it differently. Well, success is when you do this, make that, whatever. It's the process of taking what's in your heart and then holding it in your hand.
No, and I actually think that is the best example of how to define success I've ever
Mm,
heard,
mm,
because it doesn't have anything to do with monetary value. It doesn't
mm-mm,
have anything to
mm-mm.
do with, the perceived value from the world. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's what's
Hmm.
in your heart and what you desire. And
Yeah.
once you're able to physically pull that out and look at it, the tangibleness of what you
Yeah.
had in your heart, and once you have it,
Yeah.
you are
That's
successful.
success. That's success.
Y- Yes, yes, I
Think of
love that.
Mother Teresa. She ain't had no
Hmm.
money. She was
Yeah.
poor, vow of poverty, whatever it is she did. But she moved the world. She moved the world. She wasn't elected. She moved the world
Come on,
because of
man,
what was in her heart.
man. This is a show about money, so we gotta ask
Let's go
how
there.
much how much would you say money factors in to being successful?
I think one of the areas of my life that I want to be at peace at is the financial space.
Mm-hmm.
It's that faith, family, finances, fitness, friends, and fun. I said
Mm-hmm.
earlier. So it is a factor because if you stressing over money, it's going to hold you back from a lot of different things. So we
Gotcha.
have to be faithful with money. And I would argue that the same way we're faithful with marriage or with our faith journey will show up in our financial journey.
And
So
your
it's going
fitness
to be a
journey.
reflection of the holistic of who I am, because how I handle money is a reflection of the condition of my heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so the condition of my heart's going to determine the whole course of my life, not just the money space. So if your money's out of whack, take a good look around because that ain't the
Yeah.
only thing that's jacked up in your life. You know, so what? No. Just pay attention to that. If your money's out of whack, now I'm not saying poor, I'm just saying out of whack. You're in debt up to your eyeballs. You can't make your payments. They come in to collect. The car people keep showing up trying to take your car at 2 o'clock in the morning. The refrigerator ain't yours. The sofa ain't yours. And them shoes you wearing, you stole them, right? Something's out of right. You see what I'm saying? So how does it factor
Yeah.
in? I think it is a component that demonstrates our ability to be faithful, but with principle over time. And it is a reflection of the holistic nature of how we're going through our life. If our finances are in order, there's a good chance our relationships are in order. I mean, think about it. Now people want to do credit checks before they marry you. I don't blame them. That's your credit.
Yeah.
How you doing?
It's
You made a
it's long
commitment.
life
You gonna follow
partnership right
through?
there.
That's exactly right. How you handle money. Like you said you was gonna pay, but you didn't. You got how much in debt? You have no way to pay it back. What was you thinking? I mean, because I'm about to make a commitment with you too here. You know, my life till death do us part. You know, I'm more important than the debt. So that's how I factor it in.
Talk
It is a
that.
part of the whole story. And I think if you're faithful in one area, it'll show up in that area too.
Agreed, on the positive and the negative side. Like if you want to, you can literally look at where someone has been and what they spend their money on. And that will almost show you everything you need to know about that person. Seeing where they spend their time and where or how they spend their money will almost tell you everything you need to know about a person.
Jesus put it this way. He said, where your treasure is where your heart is. Take a good look at your checkbook.
Yes, sir.
Or the debit card, your bank statement. Nobody you check no more.
Come on, man. Come on, man. We got one more question for you. Can't have you on here and not ask our famous final question. So I'm going to say 2 quotes, and I need you to let me know which one is more accurate in your opinion, all right? All right.
Send it.
So more money, more problems, like Biggie, or money can't buy happiness? Which one do you agree with most?
Money cannot buy happiness. Money can buy options. Money can buy opportunities to have fulfillment, but it cannot buy happiness. Happiness is a condition of the heart that Mother Teresa didn't have. She surrendered it all. But oh, the peace and joy that she had in her heart. And even, when even though I have a lot and I have a little, I can be content. My heart can be filled with joy. It's a condition of the heart, not a status of my bank account that determines happiness.
Yes, sir. I'm right there with you. I always do believe that, like you said, it's a matter of the joy. So whether you have, 10,000 or 10 million, if you're not joyful from inside, that money is only going to multiply who you truly are.
That's it.
If you do get a lot of money, now you're feeling abundance of wealth. Now you're feeling abundance of, helping people.
Yes.
But on the opposite end, if you're selfish already, if you don't like to, be around people, then that's only going to multiply when you get that money. So
that's the more money, more problems. I guess that was true too. Depends on the condition of the heart.
Yes, sir. Depends on the condition. Depends on that perspective as well.
Yeah.
So, like I told you, man, we was aligned from the start. So this was. Thank you so much for joining the show. If you have any final words, any final takeaways, go ahead and also let them know where to reach you.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: get your head, your heart, and your hand in alignment. Do the work to create a new life for yourself. It's okay to be content where you are, but not be satisfied because you want to go to the next level. That's okay. That's a stewardship thing. So go get head, heart, hand alignment all day. I call it the alignment way. Go live your life with the alignment way. And you can reach me at Alignment Way on Instagram. So go at Alignment Way on Instagram, find me there. And I'm considering rebranding my whole podcast to be called the Alignment Way, where we build wealth and relationships the alignment way with our head, heart, hands in alignment. So more to come.
I'm digging that, boss man. I'm digging that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that nowhere before, so I'm feeling that for real.
Yeah. Sneak peek. So your audience is going to get it before the rest of the world.
Yes, sir. A little FY Fly exclusive for my listeners, man. Well, again, thank you so much, Jerry. I know we talked about a lot here today, but if y'all can take 1 or 2 things that you can implement today and watch over time. Watch those seeds that you've planted grow over time, and I promise you there will be big results at the end of that journey. So thank you again, all my listeners. Stay safe, stay invested, and stay FYI fly. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you all for listening to FY Fly, the podcast, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week for more financial literacy insights with our special guests. Please visit our website, social media platforms, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FYI Fly Podcast. That's FYI FLI Podcast. See y'all next week and stay fly.